Hi, everybody. It is Steve Olson and Wayne Steiger, WSO reporters. It is August 1st, 2016. Hi, Wayne. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So today we got, I think we want to start out the show, Wayne. I think our physicist, that was the one that told us that the sun is actually shining cyan because that's the color of the atmosphere around it right now, or what's refracting light around it right now from yesterday.
Yep.
Remember that? The video, there's a cyan atmosphere around the sun. Remember that one?
I do.
Which is, pretty interesting stuff. I mean, from a scientific standpoint, it is absolutely cool, right? To have a physicist helping us. Until they send you a letter saying, hey, I just had to tell you that the picture you showed on your latest video, which I have not shown to the physicist, there is a cyan atmosphere around the sun. I was just using the quote that he had given us before. This picture confirms what I thought may be happening. Get ready for this, Wayne. The bright lines from the center sphere, what we typically think as our actual sun, this sphere in the middle.
Okay.
To the outer edge, these straight bars and seemingly like plasma discharges or lightning, sometimes it appears as from the Earth. I think our plasma discharges, he goes on. Plasma discharges are basically, as you correctly said, lightning. The sun is charging up its new outer edge, according to this physicist. The fact that the lines of plasma discharge are getting thicker and more numerous and are no longer just vertical and horizontal, but now also diagonally across shows this. This process seems to indicate that eventually all light from the sun will come from the outer edge of the halo. This would then become the new surface of the sun. This means we have a far larger sun. I'm not sure what we'll feel on the Earth, but then a strong possibility is that the sun will feel a lot hotter. And then the good physicist goes on to give me a couple of scenarios, Wayne, that we can discuss here as we look at this.
Yeah. Well, Steve, number one, I'm not a physicist. I like looking at the math, but these are the people that actually do the math. And you and I have talked many times in private conversations. What is going on here? This is not normal. It's not the camera on the ISS. This is picking up the light that it was seeing. And so we know that the sun has an atmosphere. It has the chromosphere that's around it. That is the portion that's hotter than the surface. Am I correct on that? If I'm correct on my physiology,
I think you're right on your sun analogy.
Yeah. So what this is saying to all of us, something's not right with our sun. And listen, Steve, we have seen multiple reports, mainstream media, fringe media, science, etc., that have all agreed that we're in what they call the solar minimum, but our sun, there is something going on with it. It's just acting very odd. So this is alarming. It really is. It's alarming.
It's a little alarming, but it also kind of answers the question of what this ominous halo is around the sun. Okay, and again, we're getting pictures, and I'll show you one from today. This one is from you're gonna have to say it for me, man. It's a former Soviet Republic, Azerbaijan. I said it.
Yeah, you got it. All right.
Yes, I don't mean to cheer because this isn't a happy picture.
No, it's not.
So if you match that with what the good doctor says, these appearances of second suns are actually the outer edge of this sphere of material that has collected around the sun as a result of either going in. I mean, there's many possibilities why there's material around the sun. I will not say that it's because of Nibiru or anything like that. It could be that we just went into a galactic cloud. We're traveling through space at, I think, something like 77,000 kilometers per hour or something like that. And the sun is basically dragging us like a helix through space. So let's say the sun ran into some kind of, nebulous cloud or something like that, and it collected some material or matter. Well, that's a normal thing that we've observed from Hubble many times, that that stars interact with dust clouds, and then other stars are born, and blah blah blah. So let's say that the doctor is correct, and that we are actually seeing an ignition of the outer part of that, and it's going to create a, I don't know, my thinking would be it wouldn't be a very long before that would burn off, Wayne. That would be my thinking, because the mass of that whatever cloud of dust around it is going to be still far less than what the mass of the sun is, wouldn't it be?
Hopefully.
So I don't want to alarm anybody and cause fear porn. There's a lot of possibilities. We've been seeing this halo and this basic effect now. I've seen pictures all the way back to 2013. So I'm not like freaking out right now, but there's a good possibility that the scriptures are correct where it refers to the sun being 7 times hotter for a period of time. That's what I'm referring to, the connection between the theology part of it, Wayne.
Yep.
And I'll try to find those scriptures, but I was just talking to a saint about this the other day, and they were pointing, I think it was in Daniel or somewhere like that. I'll find it, and then I'll try to get it up on the description page. But yeah, so it's just an ominous sign of a celestial phenomenon, and it does seem like that the government is very eager to cover this up, Wayne.
Yeah, and I want to address the fact that, Steve, yes, there is dust in a vacuum. There are planets in the vacuum. Where do you think planets and sun come from? Well, they're coming from the nebula. Steve, I just hope this is, number one, it disturbs me because the physicist, he knew exactly what he was talking about. He's done the math. He can look at observations in cosmology better than you and I, or anyone, and I would dare say, in most of our audience. This is a time to come together, Steve. It's time. There are changes unfolding. And, you know, I've said this many times. Imagine if you were a citizen of Jerusalem in 69 AD. You've been hearing for decades rumors of the Roman soldiers coming in. They're going to sack our city. And in 69 AD, I am sure that most of the residents had said, listen, it ain't going to happen. Why, I can go back and show you back decades. That's been talked about. You know what? You're just one of those fringe people. Well, along comes Titus in 70 AD, and what does he do? He not only puts the siege of the city, he builds a wall around it, and then he absolutely tears it down brick by brick. My whole point to this, Steve, is maybe we are the generation that is going to witness this firsthand, and this is where community comes in, Steve.
I think you're right, Wayne. And I think that our WSO organization is starting to go to a level that's beyond, you know, just a simple YouTube channel now.
Yeah, and I'd actually, you know, I want to take a couple of minutes here, Steve, because I believe we have now come to the point that we are a community. When you told me there's, what, 220 WSO groups, is that correct?
That's correct. 200 individual groups that are self-overseeing, but they get guidance from us and help from us to point people to them to start communities all over the world. 220.
And that's growing.
It's growing, yeah. We think that as the channel grows, that we might see another 200 to 300 groups.
Okay, that's
within the next 6-month window for sure.
So, you know, I am a person, my background has been in technology, and I start companies. Many of them have been venture capital backed. And I sit back and watch, Steve, and what your vision and what WSO has become is a phenomenon. And every one of you out there listening to this video, you are part of something that's growing. And so why are you here? Well, it could be curiosity. Could be that you're looking because you have this feeling that you know something's not right. You're trying to seek out the balance. What is real? What is not? And so up and comes Steve Olson, who has this vision that, according to the scriptures, that wormwood is coming in, but it's not just a single entity, it's a bigger one. he starts talking about a community, people are flocked to that community, and the end point of all this, ladies and gentlemen, is that the community now needs to be organized. And I have watched Steve for some time, and I have seen him labor underneath this. I have seen men and women of the audience who have come forward, Mandy, James, Phoebe, their system, so many others. And now our community has needs that where we need to grow. And it becomes a point, I have seen you ask for donations. And I don't think that, Steve, that you should have to ask for donations. I believe that if people really want to be a part of this, that there are ways that we can support you, the men and women that are currently working on this, the growth that needs. I mean, what is it? It takes you about 10 hours to do a video production. It takes you about, you get on average 200 plus emails a day. I challenge anyone to go through 200 emails a day. It drives me freaking nuts. And then on top of that, you're organizing and overseeing as the CEO these groups. You have weekly meetings on them. You're doing R&D projects. You got balloon flights. You're beginning to install a new all sky cams, so that can be a WSO exclusive. We want to do lab testing on so we can begin to see what's in the air, because folks, if we can find it independently ourselves, guess what? We can warn ourselves. Then I began to look at what you're expanding out to the ham radio. All of these are steps that I have never seen anyone do and actually carry out. I see a lot of people that are talkers. They love to criticize maybe you. They kind of criticize, on the work or grammar or whatever. But they're not out there doing this themselves. You are. You're a man of action, and other people of action like myself. So, Steve, I believe what we're going to offer, and it's only going to be for about 7 days, an opportunity for the community to come together and to help fund this. Now, I'm going to tell people as well, we'll have an accounting of this. We'll bring in accountants to keep the books and et cetera. But this is an opportunity for you to become a part of a community and begin to be a part of the insiders. And we're calling this the Founders Member. So, Steve, show them what we got here. This is how I believe, Steve, we can now finance the work at WSO and no longer have to ask for donations, because here, folks, is a way that you can go out and begin to wear in your community the proud insignia, the logo of WSO. And let me tell you the power of logos. I was filmed on Friday at an event that my picture has now been picked up. Well, it was shot by the AP. The T-shirt I happen to be wearing, and I won't talk because this is not the place for it, but that, let me just say, the logo on that T-shirt has now gone viral. This is an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, for you to be a part of something. I'm ordering it. I'm getting the T-shirts, and since I live here in Colorado, you can sure bet I'm going to get the fleece hoodies and jackets. So, Steve, I'll let you tell them what we have here and how they can participate and how long we're going to keep this up.
All right, so we're only going to do a short burst, because I don't think, in my opinion, Wayne, there are people that watch the channel, and I want you all to know that you're welcome. I'm not asking, we're not trying to do this to, start a quote unquote church or anything like that. We're really trying to do a responsible set of works with the information that we have, which is simply, well, if there are some things that could happen, why not be prepared? Why not help a lot of other people prepare? So in order to kind of boost this thing forward, I've agreed to the core team at WSO that I will start a subscription-based newsletter. And this will be insider information. This will be the wacky theories that we talk about sometimes, and kind of insider, things that we don't talk about necessarily on the YouTube channel because it's just too controversial, quite frankly. And those kinds of things. So it will be a subscription newsletter model that will grow into a place where we'll have special content and all that good stuff. But trust me, anybody that watches the YouTube channel, I will never hide anything of importance from that audience. That information will always be free. And anytime we ever have like a pastor or preacher or any of those kinds of guests on, those kinds of things. I will always keep that information free all the time. But this will be insider stuff where we share the wacky stuff. And so if you participate in this short sale, you can, for as little as $10, we will keep any kind of a membership fee or anything like that for this special insider club to be free for any of the founding members for 1 year once it starts. Wayne.
And we are going to be building a website as well, correct?
We're 3 weeks away from launching it.
Okay. So I know we have other things we need to talk about, but folks, I'm excited about this. We're making our order. We're going to be giving this to all of our kids and grandkids as well. So this is just a great way of supporting, I believe, not only the mission, but the vision as well. And who knows, it could be a way that as we're passing in airports and one happens to see going, oh yeah. So buy it, get in there. Everyone needs a t-shirt. Do it. It's a good thing.
All right, so that's enough of that. If you want to participate, be kind of an insider with WSO when we launch our website. YouTube's will always be the same, always be free. Never worry about that. But we will definitely be having our own website, and what I do there is kind of whatever we need to do as a group to do what we think is necessary to prepare ourselves for whatever happens, Wayne. I don't care if it's a sun event like what we're theorizing here. By the way, speaking of theories, I have another theory I want to share with you.
Okay.
So, okay, let's use the one for Abrajaban, which I knew I was going to blow it at some point, and the halo theory, right? So here's the sun, and the sun is got this material collection of matter around it, whatever that is, right? And it is shining, and always these are definitely, like if the sun's setting in the west, you see this in the east, okay? So we know how we're getting the double rainbow.
Oh yeah.
It's one rainbow from the sun and another rainbow from where it's either igniting or light is escaping. What do you think of that idea?
I think that as layman scientists, we have to take in all possibilities because I don't have any answers of my own.
I'm just saying that there seems to be a connection of this and this rainbow or big, like when you see this big sky filling rainbow and it's red in the middle, what does that leave you to think?
Well, Steve, didn't you get one on one of the balloon tests that when you got up high enough that we began to see the cayenne color as well?
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the higher in altitude and closer we got to the sun, we saw the halo that the professor had commented on yesterday, and the concern that this changing color at this edge may indicate that this is going to be a second atmosphere for a time around the sun. And then this other interesting thing is that it turns cyan as I get higher. So it goes from that blood red that we see from the ground to cyan color as we get higher. This is an untouched photograph.
Well, it's starting to make sense because we know this is not a lens anomaly. We know, Chris, Potter, I'm thinking about you, bro. It's not a flying cheese sandwich that with ketchup on the side. This is, listen, Steve, I have seen enough of just what our subscribers have sent in, what you have captured, what I have captured. We've got some very strange stuff coming off the ISS that clearly I believe that the ISS is right now is in a dust cloud. I think that it's concentrated in certain areas like clouds are. Look at that.
See, that shows that outer edge, clearly kind of, not clearly, but it shows it. See how it's so illuminated here?
Yep.
It's almost like its own light source. And then we see these big explosions of light all over the place like Dill Martin captured.
Yep. And listen, how I see WSO on the science side of this is that we will get the experts, the professionals, as we increase the balloon flights and as we get more sophistication on the equipment. This is going to become critical. Steve, to me, it's life and death for my family.
Well, that's kind of where I'm coming down on it. So here's a picture to kind of confirm like this just huge bright light. The sun just turned into this unbelievable brightness in this camera from Wolfgang Z.
Well, what was the picture you had the other day from the FFA up in Alaska? I mean, that didn't look like our sun. It looked like it was Jupiter coming in.
I know, right?
I mean, if I looked up and saw that, I'd gone, oh crap.
Well, the sad news of it is that's what I saw in my sky in Wisconsin. Otherwise, it wouldn't have bothered me so much. But yeah, this one I think is the one you're talking about. I just can't stop going back and looking at that.
I mean, you know, it's at some point you're going, okay.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Call me what you want. That's all right. But
you want to talk about T-shirts some more? Or?
I'll tell you what. I do have a video, though, as you know, from the ISS on the pulsating sun. Now, what is the?
Yeah, here. Let me turn the camera over, or let me turn the screen over to you, Wayne. And would you share that with us? Because that was pretty cool too. Let's look at that relative to this conversation.
All right. So let's get in here. I think it's this one right here. Yes, it is. So this is recorded directly off the ISS. And as you can see, it went like this, Steve, for over 2.5 minutes. So I want to get your commentary on this.
Yeah. When did you see this, Wayne?
This is over the weekend.
So in context with what we were just talking about.
Look at this. And look at, Steve, particularly how the green, there is a reaction going on here. That is a chemical reaction. It's not a reaction of the camera, folks. Anyone that wants to argue with that, send me your email address and we can get a good debate. I'm telling you, this is the sun. It's pulsating. And Steve, it just gets more bizarre as it goes.
I know. The rabbit hole just seems to get greater and greater every time I talk to you, Steiger. Maybe I just need to stop talking to you.
Well, you know.
Maybe.
I got employees that would agree with you on that.
Oh, hey, listen, but I'll tell you, you know, you have been a great help to this channel, Wayne, and all kidding aside, I just want to thank you for being a sounding board for all of us, because I need to ask me the questions. You know what I mean? You're asking the questions that, you know, and bringing forth material like this and helping us put the pieces together. And we just want to thank everybody from WSO.
So look at this, Steve.
Yeah.
Now, that is a reaction. I will tell you what, I feel very strongly that is a plasma reaction.
Of some sort.
Of some sort. Now, folks, I don't know where it's coming. It's coming from this light source. And unfortunately, that is setting. They don't move the camera, as you know, but we can still see this constant pulsing, Steve, and then it stops, and you can see this. It's just bizarre.
Why are they letting us see this if they're trying to cover it up so hard, it seems like, you know?
I think it's conditioning, Steve. I really do believe that it is. Now, I want to show this one. This was Friday off of the ISS. Steve, this is a dust cloud. And you had one that you actually caught the debris, right?
Yeah, it was like more particulate, like large particles.
Yeah.
Rather than a dust.
So I'll turn this back over to you, brother.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe this is a good place to stop because that's a lot to digest one day. Let me just go through a couple more of the photographs that I had in the last 24 hours that I thought were interesting just for fun. This is something that just came from Australia.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and listen, I want to say I'm right with Chris Potter on this one as well. And I saw the interview he did with Rex. Great stuff, folks. I mean, at some point in time, come on, let's all get over it. There's something there.
See, what's interesting about when I see a light flare like this?
Yeah.
It just makes me think what we're trying to, you know, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say about it.
Well, you know, let's stop though. Let's stop. That is reacting to a bright, intense light, Steve.
Well, it's like this. It's like this flare that we got from the early balloon flights, right?
Yeah.
Let me go back and see if I can't capture. See that? See that flare? Here, let me
Yep.
get it. Let me write good in the center here for a second. I'll stop it when we can see it. But as we get into, as we start to see that kind of cyan color start to develop, this outer halo, we also really strange lens flare that we've seen many
What
times.
is that? You see that? It
Yep,
just,
right there.
yeah.
So could this be that NASA patent in action?
Okay, Steve, hear me out. When I saw that, the impression I got was this. How many mysterious missile flights, rocket flights, new propulsion I'm trying to focus in on that has that kind of a signature?
Like this.
Yeah.
And I actually can get that from the ground pretty clear now too. But to me, you know, it just begs to me artificial light source, like a refraction of the light bulb itself.
You know, we have some smart people and some good photographers out there. Folks, why don't we come together on this one and let's see what we can do in analyzing the light that's causing those type of flying cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, these kind of flying cheese sandwiches.
And I give all credit to Chris Potter. I do not steal his trademark or his intellectual property.
Yep. So anyway, let's just close off again. If you'd like to be part of the Founding Members Club, I'll have the link below. You'll be able to go get your choose the level that you can afford. A t-shirt we'll send you the t-shirt, sweatshirt, or whatever it is, and then you'll get one free year no matter what I put on the subscription-based piece for free. That offer will only be active until the 7th when we shut this down.
On the 7th?
Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully y'all and I'll remind you in the next couple of videos and everything like that, but I hope that you participate and help us grow a legitimate organization that can really save lives. Thanks.